All right, let's get her going. A brand new week. And we got Sammy back. Woo! After bringing home a father-son championship of the world.
Of the world and
At
in
Owen Sound.
Yeah. I mean, we can say hello. You don't have to.
No,
It's okay. No,
Break
no,
into it.
This is what we call a tease
Work
and a
into it.
warm-up. So
Work
now I
into
go
it.
into
Yeah.
my introduction.
There we go.
And nobody pays attention because they're like, oh, we can't wait to hear about Sammy's
close the loop.
Sammy and his
What's
dad
Yeah,
and how they
right.
were like a shutdown pair in Owen Sound.
I saw Sammy play. He doesn't shut down anything.
We're live on Sportsnet 360, 590 The Fan in Toronto, streaming always on Sportsnet Plus. And if you miss our show, catch us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and the ever so popular YouTube, where the chat is going wild right now.
I was just chatting my boys up with the YouTube team there, Harrison, Colin, and Pete. They know what's going on up there.
It's kind of cool.
It's really cool.
Now, worldwide, everybody, anywhere that you get YouTube, you can catch our show now, anywhere on the planet. Is that true?
True, Kip. Anywhere on the planet.
That's pretty cool.
What a world.
Even Owen Sound.
Even Owen Sound. Or they're giving you a thumbs up as we speak. All right. Game day. Not just any game.
Mm-hmm.
A revenge game between the Toronto Maple Leafs, Anaheim. It is a 10 p.m. start on Sportsnet Ontario, where yours truly, Justin Bourne, Elliot Friedman, Carolyn Cameron will all get together and watch the Leafs attempt to beat up Gudas.
I got to tell you, you and I feel like a bad team, a bad partnership to discuss this because we're both kind of already rolling our eyes at it. Did I pick that up from you?
Well,
Uh-oh.
yes and no, because there's a part of me still that can buy into a lot of things.
Yeah.
But then, like,
There's nothing here for the record. I do have opinions
Yeah, there's
on
something
this.
there.
I do have opinions.
But then there's the part of me that says, okay, be the adult in the room and just figure out, like, what's really important, what's not important, kind of separate it a little bit. And that's why you're like, I'm going a little back and forth on what we can expect tonight.
To me, only reason I'm eye-rolly about it is we know what the Leafs are and what their players are. Individually, we know which players are fighty and which ones aren't, who's brave and courageous, who isn't. Tonight, they're going to go try to do their thing for sure. Pizzetta, Joshua, someone to fight Gudas. It doesn't change a single thing about how I feel about next time will Nylander do it or nothing changes for me. So I'm interested to see what happens from a team perspective as well tonight. But it doesn't, to me, hold much bearing on. I know who this group is.
But there's a group of
But they are who we thought they
Salmonites.
were.
Yes.
There's a group of Salmonites out there,
Is that we're calling disciples of
right?
Sam?
Sammy,
Yeah.
you want a little blood. You want a little flesh. You want a little bit of, listen, it's been a crappy season. Give me something tonight.
I hate to admit this to you boys, but I'm kind of in your boat.
Oh, no.
Yeah, we're kind of across the board here. Of course, you hope they do something.
Well, they have to.
You know,
And they
they're gonna fight Gudas, like you said. It's probably gonna happen early, but it just doesn't. I'm just so over watching this team and so over this season, and I'm just so disgusted with the way they've played. Like that Blues game on Saturday. I don't know if we're gonna talk about it. Was capital P pathetic. It was horrible to watch. So I don't have enough of a connection to these guys right now where I'm like, they must avenge what? It's like avenge the lowest part of the season so I get to remember the worst thing it's just, there's a real disconnect between me and the team. That's what I feel like I'm at.
Yeesh.
Is that
Jeez.
is that dark? Is it that bad?
Well, it depends where you're sitting. If I were a team employee, I'd be like, geez, that is dark.
Yeah,
I get it, though. I appreciate what you're saying. I thought there was a very good article Alec Brownscombe wrote on Maple Leaf Hot Stove today, and it was about how what should happen with Gudas tonight is not necessarily someone goes up, stage fight, first couple minutes, and then it's over. It's that if you're really upset about what happened to your captain, you want to inflict that damage on the Ducks and going after certain players and being physical.
Go after their young kids.
Well, yeah, you're
Right?
kind of putting the body on other people and being like,
Yeah.
this is what we're doing. This is what we're doing. We care. So that I'm hopeful that you have a 60-minute intensity, bring it to Anaheim thing more than a 2-minute boof, see you later.
that's what you want to see. You want to see some of the more rugged guys on the Leafs, like you said, a Pizzetta, like a Joshua, somebody, maybe Lorentz, anybody in the bottom half of the lineup that's willing to take a run at somebody. You want to see that. But I don't know. It feels so, like you said off the top, not like these guys. It's just not in their nature, and it's just going to feel forced. It's going to feel forced like the third period did after they didn't do anything when they got need in the first place.
You know,
right?
you want to know what's kind of ruining it for me?
Me?
Sorry?
Is it me? My thoughts on it?
No, Sammy.
Okay,
you
God.
can't. Listen, I see your face every day. It brings joy to me. Okay? You can't ruin anything.
That's really nice to hear.
Okay?
That's really nice to hear.
It's true.
What is ruining it for me is actually Gudas himself
Oh, yeah.
and his attitude towards tonight.
Which is awesome.
No.
Well, what do you want him to do?
Just be you.
He is.
Be the dirty player that you are, and don't apologize for it. I'm like, do we have any clips of Gudas, Sammy?
Yes, we do.
We do have. Well, the one that we want to hear, just give us 2 seconds on it, okay? But yeah, hold on a sec. Do we have it, Derek? Okay. No, he's not going to play it yet. So
Okay.
talk amongst yourselves. But
Okay.
you don't.
What don't you like?
That he's just completely rolled over on himself.
Well, but to me,
Okay.
he's like, I know that these guys are mad about it. I'm trying to be there to
Okay, I'm okay with that.
I'm not ducking them. They
I'm
want to
okay
come
with
get
that.
it. I'm going to play.
I'm okay with that.
Okay.
But this, like, I was wrong, and I was
wrong.
like, I'm sorry, and I've got to learn. Like, stop it.
What?
Yeah, just look the camera in the eye and say, hey, I play the game hard. Sometimes I cross the line. Just deal with it.
Yeah.
All right, we
Just-
have it.
Okay, play it.
Are you expecting some fireworks tonight? I mean, do you anticipate it? And is that one of the reasons to get in there and kind of?
Yeah, I think it's going to be an intense game. One of the reasons why I wanted to play, address things.
Is part of it too that not only you want to play, but that if you're not in there, you don't want your teammates to be susceptible to any retribution.
Yeah, exactly. That's another thing. Stand behind my own mistakes. I want to address it myself. So that's one of the reasons.
Stand behind my own mistake.
It's one of those games where I have to play.
How healthy are you? Good. Sorry, he was doing his press conference in the middle of
I couldn't.
dinner party.
Did you guys hear that?
Yeah,
Was it?
yeah. He said he has to stand up for his own mistakes.
Yeah.
Is what the key part of that
like,
was.
Stand behind
Okay.
his.
Easy on the mistakes. Like, it's
But the
not
thing is-
fun if you're just going to sit there. Like, well, first of all, there was the question of whether he was healthy or not, and it just seemed like even if he wasn't healthy, he wanted to play so badly that he needed to. And I get it. I get the not wanting to duck part, but if you're not healthy, you're not healthy.
Mhm.
So apparently he's healthy. I guess he's been cleared, but I don't believe in the apology so strong for me that it's just almost sappy at this point. Like,
Takes the fire out of tonight.
It takes the fire out of it tonight. It's like, hey, boys, he's saying, hey, Leafs, if I could beat myself up, I would do it for you. That's
Yeah.
how bad I feel.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's not fun. It's not fun. It's not
But
part
his
of
job
it.
is not to generate fun.
Okay.
He's a man whose reputation's at
Can I
stake,
ask
and he
you-
I
wants
don't-
to be honorable.
So just sit there and just take your lumps then. Sit at center ice, put your hands down, take the 3 or 4 punches that you so feel like you deserve, and then let's move on with it.
Do you
but
think
if you're
he's
not going to
saying
sit
that-
there and fight back and sit there and go, give me what you got. This is who I am. This is how I play, and come and get me. That's what I want out of Gudas, not, oh, I'm so sorry.
Do you think he's saying that to lighten the blow?
I don't know.
Like-
Why would you? Who are
'Cause
you
he doesn't-
scared of?
He doesn't love fighting.
no, he doesn't.
He doesn't love fighting. He's not a fighter. He's a guy
I
that
don't want
kind
to
of
see him so apologetic. I don't. I don't want it on my team. Okay, I'm sorry, but crap happens. That's what he should say.
Yeah.
I play the game hard, and crap happens. I did it. I went up. I hit Grant Fuhr hard and knocked him out. Didn't mean to hurt him. not my intentions.
So knowing you were playing them later, did you know going into that game it was going to be a battle?
Buddy, I knew it was coming.
Yeah.
And I experienced...
Did you apologize in the media?
No, I didn't grovel, beg for forgiveness like Gudas is doing. So, no.
I love this thing.
Go and
my
take
favorite take of all time.
Go and take your lumps, bud. Go. Yeah. I did it. I went in. I had to wait a whole summer.
Ugh.
Okay?
Oh
Gudas at least gets to go and rip the Band-Aid off in 2 or 3 weeks.
That's why he wants in. He's like, I don't want to sit on this the rest of my life. Let's just, fine. What do you got? Let's go.
So I knew it. And the whole summer and working into the game against St. Louis, Ty Domi, buddy, you don't have to do this. I'll look after Twist. And I'm like,
Twist.
Oh my God.
Not a chance.
Yeah.
Not a snowball's chance. I would rather them pick me up, scrape me off the ice if they have to before I let you fight my battle.
You know, this all kind of reminds me of like the opposite of the Todd Bertuzzi, Steve Moore thing where, you know, it felt like they felt that Steve Moore owed some retribution and Moore did fight after that, but it wasn't enough because they didn't get him. Mm-hmm. So they kept chasing him. Like there's this thing in hockey where like, if you don't, and for the record, not Moore's fault. He did fight, whatever. But, you know, there is a thing in hockey where the other team feels like you haven't paid your pound of flesh.
Yeah.
It's coming.
Yeah.
So I guess that's Gudas here where he's like, let's just, to Kip's point.
And I don't want Anaheim. I don't care. If I'm Anaheim now, I'm not rolling out the red carpet so you can go fight him and get it over with. Okay?
He's going to start and they'll fight within the first 4 seconds.
I don't care. I want an Anaheim guy to go up to a Leaf guy and say, hey, you want to get to him? You come through me first. And then it's like, don't just be this one fight, get it over with, and then go back into your cruddy little hockey game.
Cruddy.
Okay?
Outshoot the Leafs 40-10. Way to go.
Bring them all in.
Bring
them all in. Oh, that's what I saw Saturday night, by the way.
It's the first time I've ever heard you say crud. That was funny.
It was good.
All I'm saying is that if it's going to be true to its form, I don't think Anaheim should just roll out a red carpet to get to Gudas so they can get it all over with.
Well, this is, and I tweeted this in sort of a weird metaphor, but it's like when you want to clean your room versus when your mom says to clean your room. If Anaheim wants to do this and they want to stick up for him and be a team, or if the Leafs want to get revenge on the Ducks and take out their best young players and make this a whole thing, see that sincere effort, cool. I feel like both teams are going to do here's what people expect us to do. Mom said I have to do this, so I'm doing it. Going to be over with quick. Because the Leafs don't have a culture. They have established this year as they're physical or they're whatever. And so this is going to be a blip, until for the next 2-3 weeks, and then they'll try to rebuild the culture or whatever. So this to me is not, what effort are we going to get? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe tonight they're dogs.
What is the chance of a sideshow tonight? Like a Tampa versus Florida game that we've seen.
The problem is, Sam, that the Leafs have like 8 guys who won't do it.
I think that
Tavares not doing it. Willie's not doing it. But Chelly's, sorry.
But that is where I'm at. Like, if it's going to feel any different than it ever has, that's what it's got to be for me to be surprised. Is for one of those guys to be like, you know what?
Yeah.
I'm sick of being called a baby. Willie's going to jump in on somebody, or Tavares is going to jump in on somebody, or Michelli's going to jump.
Easton Cowan's done it twice now.
Yeah, but like, I don't think they will. But if something like that were to happen, be like, okay, maybe they did learn something after 8 years.
Cowan does.
We think Joshua could do it. Max Domi could jump him. He could two-hand him.
Oh, yeah, Max is going to be visible.
Yes. Max, there's no predicting on what he could possibly do.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, Max is in take a suspension territory.
Outside of that, who really wants to
if he did
go and do it?
But they should all want to, because that's the whole point. They should all want a lick at him, because the whole reason that they got into this in the first place is because none of them did anything when it actually happened. They should all want retribution. They should all want a mulligan.
Yeah.
That's the point.
Yeah.
It's not if they should want to or who will. It should that they all want to do it.
This is the thing. I don't want you to do it. I want you to want to do it.
I want you to want to do it. I want you to want to come see that chick flick with me.
Yeah.
Sam.
I want you to want to keep your room clean.
Yes. Anyway.
But I don't. Anyway.
Well, and if you're willing to do it with Gudas, then you should be willing to do it with like 3/4 of their team too. You don't just get to say, I'll do it with him, but after that, I'm out.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the phony part of it. That's that fake feel of you're not really doing it because it's your natural instinct or that's what you're supposed to do. You're doing it because that's what you think everybody else thinks that you should do.
But like, Anaheim's big, but is there anyone to fear?
Ross Johnson.
Oh yeah, he'll be in tonight. Never mind.
So
and then yell fights.
He's scary.
So let me just do a scenario for you, because if I'm Ross Johnson right now, okay?
Yeah.
I'll go up to Dakota and I'll say, you come through me and then you can get to him. Are you willing to do that?
Hopefully.
Right?
I would hope so.
Poor Dakota's been like thrust into this heavy roll. Luke Shen.
Right?
Who's the other one he
He
just
does
fought?
not want to do this.
No.
Right? Or if you're going to go after him, you got to go through me too. But
Kip, I love what you're
that's-
saying. I just don't
that's-
see it happen.
That's Ross's job, by the way. Okay? Not to step aside and let freebies go
Well,
on your players.
but you just said you wanted to do it yourself, and maybe Gudas will have that same take. Hey, Ross, I'm going to go do this.
David Alter sent out a tweet, I think it was either today or late last night, that George Kypreos will be in attendance. I wish I could give whoever tweeted this credit. I saw it before I came on air. So now he wants to see Gudas in person. So
Very funny tweet.
I wish I knew who it was because I just saw it in passing.
Is he going to be there?
He's going to be.
Yes.
That's so.
He is for sure.
Berube was asked about the eyes on this game and sort of the tone that's around it. If we want to play that clip, Berube clip 8, please.
Well, they don't want, they don't want the game to get out of hand, you know. I don't blame them, you know. I don't think it's good for anybody. You don't want anything stupid happening, suspensions and things like that. Like, that doesn't solve anything. Just go out and play the game with a lot of emotion, energy, be physical, and be hard on their skilled players.
Real talk, I wish he could start.
He speaks of Anaheim. There's no worries about anything happening to a Leaf player at this point, right?
Suspension-wise. I mean, they don't get some money.
Okay. But Anaheim's chasing a division.
Yeah,
They are the ones that can't afford a Trouba broken finger or, fractured this or that.
Too soon on tough guys. They got some tough guys. Yeah.
Trouba.
Yeah.
Trouba's a gamer.
Yep.
Right? So, I mean, they're the ones that have something to risk here moving forward. Anaheim
Ducks, 3 points. Do I have that right? In first in their division right now. So they're very much in it. They're also, Edmonton on their heels and Vegas on their heels. They need every point they can get right now. So yeah, I see your point. I'm just looking at the West. Jeez Louise.
Can I just comment quickly on that, what Berube said?
Sure.
I would argue the opposite from Leaf fans. Like, that they don't want to see anything stupid. They don't want to see any suspensions. It's like, what do we care?
Yeah, no, exactly.
Like, what could a Leaf fan possibly care if Max Domi got a 2-game suspension for hacking Gudas in the back of the leg or something? Like, we're not going to care. Like, we want this. That's exactly what we want to see. Disconnect again. Like,
he knows it.
But why is Kypreos going? Like, come on.
This is the thing they do, and they know premeditated circus is coming.
To your point,
you don't have cable?
It involves Toronto.
Exactly.
Everybody's watching.
But so if this was, for example, if this was not the Toronto Maple Leafs, if Radko Gudas, I don't know why I said like that, Gudas had done this. Didn't know it sound too long. Didn't know it sound too long. If Radko Gudas had done this to, let's say, Quinn Hughes, and it was in Minnesota tonight, would he be there?
Maybe. Does Gudas have a clip that we didn't play?
We have two different
ones. A lot throughout this career.
We have 2 different clips.
Because I wonder how many times Paris went to his other follow-up games. I also didn't say Paris, so we're having a tough go.
Let's do Gudas clip 2, please, Derek.
Played a lot of these in my career throughout the year, so just trying to be as ready as possible for a big game for us tonight. It's 2 important points for us, so we want to win, and we want to do everything possible to get a good W tonight.
So I wonder how many of those games, he said he's been involved in a lot of these throughout his career that Parros
He's made a
went
lot
to.
of mistakes.
We've made a lot of
Been apologizing a lot.
A lot of mistakes over my careers.
whoops.
Anything from Saturday night game?
Oh my gosh. I don't know. Like 4 shots on goal in the first.
Yeah, I think I wrote it down here. Hold on. Give me a
3.
second. Leafs have been. This is from Michael Amato on Twitter. Leafs were outshot over their last 8 Joseph Wall starts, 300 to 162, 37-13 on Saturday night, 43-18 in the one before that, 44-14 in the one before that.
Should we get Berube's overview?
Yeah, let's actually play it.
Check
Let's actually
in
play
with
it.
Coach
Yeah. Let's do clip 1,
We
the
had
Blues
one
game.
player that showed up tonight, and that was our goalie. That's really what it boils down to.
How disappointing is that?
Very disappointing. Yeah, I mean, thought the last couple games were pretty good, and we're building. Like I talked about, staying competitive and playing together out there, but we did not have that tonight.
I can't believe there's
3 power plays, not 1 shot on goal.
Red hot.
Think about that.
I know. I just, like, we all know they need a D. They need a D who can move the puck, make plays, skate, shoot, do D offense stuff. Really bad.
Yeah.
It's becoming pretty painfully clear.
And then,
It feels very strange. right now.
Even
All feels so
without
temporary.
it, there's no excuse to be outshot like that. There isn't.
Well, you just can't hang with the Blues. The Blues are.
well, they've been hot since. I think they've been the best team in the league since the Olympic.
They actually
break.
have
They've
been,
been really
but
hot.
they're still.
But I
in
picked them to win the
30.
Stanley Cup in September.
Well, they got
Buddy,
the
they might
second
make the
half cup.
playoffs.
They got
Okay.
the second half cup. They're on fire.
They're 4 points back of playoffs.
I know that.
You guys.
I know.
Like,
If they get in, you never know.
it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So there's one other clip that they played Willie at center. Do you want to hear Rube talk about that? Clip 4.
Very much.
Yeah, clip 4.
Yeah, well, we're down a center, right? So I played him at center quite a bit. See what we can get something going.
What did you make of it? I mean, it's
I thought he was fine at center. I didn't have an issue with it at all, so I kept using him there.
Thought he was fine.
Did he say he played him quite a bit that night,
Yeah.
or he's implied that he previously
just
played
that night.
Okay, yeah.
I find it funny that he said that no one was good, and then he said Willie was fine at center.
Yeah.
2 different things. Did you guys talk about Willie on Friday when I wasn't here?
Yeah,
him, the
the ear to Berube, you didn't like that one, eh?
Did you guys?
Well, I think the way I initially
couldn't
saw it as
believe
they're trying to keep it light in practice, whatever, but it's a little extended to where it's showing the coach up a little bit, maybe.
I couldn't believe that. Anyways, we don't need to talk about it anymore. I was just stunned by that. Imagine you did that to one of your coaches.
After everything that we've learned about their relationship, you're stunned by it?
Yeah. Holding your ear to the coach at practice?
But Willie has had that
I guess.
feel
I guess.
like for a long time now that he's different from everyone else with his relationship with the coach. So
It's
he
Willie.
gets
Just
to
leave him alone.
right? Just leave him alone. What player also gets to feel that
Willie,
they
on
get
that-
left alone?
On that clip, Willie skates in on a 2-on-1 from the blue on 1 foot the whole time.
And snaps it so ferociously bar down that it was like,
Yeah.
I couldn't believe that.
So no surprise
Okay.
for me.
All right. Wow, that's how desensitized to him we are.
Yeah.
Kipper, you wrote an article you put up on Sportsnet like literally moments before we started.
Yeah.
Anything in there you want to talk about?
I quickly put it into perplexity to summarize this for me. I need to know what Kip wrote.
Just came out, and it's really front office, and
Okay.
obviously it plays off of Bruce Cassidy, and we'll get into Bruce Cassidy and the Vegas Golden Knights in our national hour, but
It's relevant.
lots
to this one.
of rumblings about changes specifically in Toronto, Vancouver, and New Jersey, which people have speculated in the past, but there's a sense that all of them feel like, not all of them, but majority of them feel like they're on borrowed time right now,
Toronto,
including
New Jersey, Vancouver.
Yeah. So Fitzgerald, Patrick Alvine, and Brad Treliving. And there is a bit of a sense here that, the Leafs may not even wait till the end of the season to decide Brad Treliving's fate.
Really?
That there's some that thought maybe it could happen as early as today, but it's a game day, and we haven't heard any word on Brad Treliving's future. But And now there's a feeling like
we just did 5 minutes on Willie, and now we're doing this. This feels like a real conversation.
You should have started with this one, Bubba.
But listen, we just come and talk.
I know.
We don't prepare on
We
anything.
just got to make sure there's enough time here.
People have listened to us for
a lot of time.
People have listened to us for 5 years,
I know.
and it's like, I don't know what I'm going to say. You don't know what you're going to say. We're not allowed to talk to each other before the show.
Least of all, know what you're going to say.
Yeah.
Very interesting. So, I guess the broader framework of what. So, I'm going to leave New Jersey, Vancouver, Detroit until the
it is the Leaf
Hour.
Hour edition.
So, the Toronto one, tree living, that's an interesting thought. So then, Pelly has been conducting conversations around the organization.
Yes. Yeah.
What's the background on what?
The background is basically he's bringing certain staff members in and reassessing the season on what they liked, what they didn't like, what they saw. Mm-hmm. It's not the easiest thing to do while someone is still employed, but it does happen in organizations, and that's where he's at. So there are people that have made it clear to him that if you are making changes, people are already throwing their names in the hat.
Mm-hmm.
So
but
that won't happen until he fleshes out, in his opinion, a full understanding of what things were, what went wrong.
Do you think that they'll keep the organizational structure the same with no president, no one above the GM role?
The other thing that people have to keep in mind is that there's going to be some form of reconstruction of ownership, because it's gone from a shared partnership with Bell Media to now complete control by Edward Rogers and the Rogers Communications. So where does that leave Rogers Media, Sports Media, and MLSE? Mm-hmm. Do you bring them together? Do they remain separated? We all believe that it's going to come together under one roof in some capacity. And when is that going to be revealed? Mm-hmm. Right? June, July, middle of August.
That does feel like a thing that would happen in summer. And I guess from there, go ahead.
I do believe that everything is business as usual. Keith Pelly's the CEO. Brad Treliving is the general manager. Yeah. Day to day, things are just run normally. Yeah. But those are key decisions that will decide a lot of people's fate, I think.
Mm-hmm. Part of these conversations always starts with, well, how do you get better? How do you get better? Not just, get rid of people. Yeah. Who's coming in? Bruce Cassidy getting let go becomes very interesting.
It does, but he's a coach. He's not a general manager. Right. He's not a president of hockey ops. He is. You
don't want to hire a
coach.
Reverse.
You don't. You will never see Brad Treliving name Cassidy a head coach unless he has now been, blessed on continuing the battle here for the next few years.
It's just, how it went when Mike Babcock was named coach, and then Kyle Dubas takes over, and then, it just worked the wrong direction. You'd feel like whoever came in would want to have their input.
Yeah. Once you decide on what you want to do with Brad Treliving, then you get to decide on Craig Berube and potentially replacing him as well.
Go ahead, Pat.
I just had a couple of questions off what you're saying. Like, the thing that you said off the top that kind of got my ears up about Treliving, and there was some word about maybe even, around this time that maybe there'd be an announcement. Do you think they're doing that ahead of the end of the season because they have somebody in mind and they know there's going to be a lot of open jobs?
I think, yes, to your point that, we mentioned potential teams here like Vancouver and New Jersey looking at restructuring in some capacity. There's question marks on what happens if Detroit misses the playoffs. Where does that leave Steve Yzerman? And so there's a race now. If there's a few names that might be available, Nashville's still looking. My understanding is Nashville has told some, and I mentioned Chris Pronger and Ryan Getzlaf being out there as up-and-comers that potentially want to get involved at that type of level that Nashville wants to go with experienced guys. So where does that leave you on a list? And who's going to get out there first? Mm-hmm. Who's going to take the first available guy of the names that we hear today and eliminate them from your list? So the Leafs might, Keith Pelly might be going through that right now. Is what's out there? Is it better? Or do I just keep what I have?
The one thing that has shocked me in the wake of Cassidy's firing is reading other media members being like, no organization, like, can you believe Vegas? Like, it's unheard of what they do. Every year they do something that shocks you. It's like every year they're trying to win.
Yeah.
Well, good guys become available and they try to trade for them. Like, they feel their coach is letting them down this year and they get rid of them. Like, they try to win all the time, which is what everyone is supposed to be doing.
That's also having an owner that's saying, I got no problem eating $3 million on a contract
huge advantage,
for him.
but the Leafs are
year.
Certainly in that boat.
Yeah. I agree with that, for sure.
And so for months now, it's been like, all right, this is not great. You need to kind of remove, before you can change anything major, you need to make these sort of changes. And
just you mentioned the Nashville thing in terms of experience and like them wanting to hire somebody with experience. Do you think that is something like, I don't know, what was the name of the guy that's been floating out there that I've seen?
Oh, Sonny Meta
from the Florida Panthers.
Yeah, sharp guy.
Yeah.
Really sharp.
Yeah.
But like, is he ready to just be like the general manager of the Leafs? Like, it feels like you need to have, if you're going to go that route, it feels like you're going to need to have somebody above, like the traditional one that we've seen in Montreal, like we've seen other places, other teams are chasing, like they have in Vegas with McPhee and Kelly McCrimmon. Like, I don't know nothing about Sonny. I'm nothing against him or whatever, but I see all these ideas of people throwing out names to be the general manager of the Leafs, and I think we already did Dubas. I think we saw it didn't work early with Dubas.
Yeah, I think it's fair to explore those names. Yeah. Absolutely. This game's changed. It's gotten a lot more sophisticated.
Sonny is the GM, assistant GM, and director of analytics for the Panthers. Has been for 3 years.
Yeah, and a cap guy, a guy
was with New Jersey for a decade. Yeah. Like he was a blogger before that.
Yeah,
nice.
My people.
There you go.
So, but it'd be crazy for him just to take it on and not have another guy that's probably a little bit deeper in hockey culture, because that stuff still matters.
Well, you can certainly do things in a complimentary way. It's fascinating because the temptation is to hire the biggest name, and Toronto is
historically that's been the case here.
Right.
Just get the shiniest object, and I also in my article talk about Doug Armstrong.
Well, yeah, I was just going to say
and
can we just fast forward to that press conference here?
It's conflicted right now in terms of he's got years left on his contract.
Not years?
I think it goes to 28.
Oh my.
Yeah.
But everything I've seen is that like they'd be willing to let him go.
But
I
also hear that maybe the owner's getting sick and tired of hearing the Toronto rumors. St. Louis's owner.
Yeah.
And
so we'd use that to say, if you want to do it, just get out of here.
Well, either that or don't.
Yeah,
I've got
I don't even watch anyway.
I've got a rookie GM coming in, and Alex Steen, and somebody's got to hold his hand too and work the next year with him.
Yeah.
And if that was the deal, if that was the conversation that they set up come July 1st, maybe he wants to see that through. Mm-hmm. So
it's funny, those relationships. Like some guys. Like, the idea of Lou Lamoriello above Kyle Dubas was a great idea. But, like, I got all this respect for Lou in the world, like, Hall of Fame career, awesome, whatever. But he didn't want to be a mentor to his successor. He wanted to be the guy.
Yeah, he left immediately and was the guy for, 5, 6 more years? Yeah.
Like, I don't think it's a fun job to be Doug Armstrong and be, like, a very accomplished guy and be like, my job's to hold his hand? How about I just do the job? So I get that not being super appealing for guys with experience. We should break.
Before we go to break, I just had a little read here. Little acts of kindness in a time when it seems everything is hopeless is one small way to make things better. And one simple act you can take to have a direct and immediate impact on your community is donating blood at your nearest Canadian Blood Services donation center. This small act can save multiple lives. The need is always there, and it can bring a sense of contribution to a world in a need of solutions. Choose a moment of hope today. Make a donation by appointment by visiting blood.ca, the Give Blood app, or call 1-882-DONATE.
Give blood.
There you go.
All right. Let's take a quick break. Top of the hour.
Oh, yeah.
We've got David Amber. Do we not?
Yeah, I was going to say we're going to do some Vegas stuff off the top, but I wanted to ask you guys when we come back, who's a better coach release, Cassidy or DeBoer?
Oh, boy.
I do like that.
Ooh, someone.
I've been thinking.
I'm getting Cassidy to Toronto vibes out of Sammy right now, but we won't.
Okay.
We won't confirm that till after the break.
Okay.
All right.
You're watching and listening to Real Kyper and Bourne. Welcome back to the program. Nick Kypreos, Justin Bourne, Sammy McKee. Back
Yeah.
from the sound.
My whole Twitter feed is just people cribbing paragraphs of the article you wrote today for various cities.
Oh, gosh.
What's up?
How far are we away from golfing, Sammy? It's kind of balmy out there today.
Well, it's 20 degrees out there today. I would be lying if I said my golf season didn't flash before my eyes in the final of the C Division Championship in the showdown at Owen Sound M&R hockey tournament, which we won the
No big
trophy.
deal.
No big deal.
Congrats to Andy.
I crashed into the end boards quite hard, and I felt a pop.
Do you just fall?
Felt a pop
Where?
in my ankle. And it was like, oh my God, I couldn't put any weight on. I tried to go out for one more shift.
Would you play tonight if you had to fight someone for retribution's sake? Yeah.
I'd go. I'd go. But it's barking pretty good. So I was thinking, oh my God. But honestly, like, I know probably people don't care too much, but it was a huge weekend for my family. We had a blast.
That's awesome.
It was
you
fantastic.
are.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, there we
Here
go.
There's my
There he is.
my mom was
There's
wearing. Our team name was the Ugly Moos. I don't know what it means, but she was wearing a moo. She was the mascot.
great,
so there you
man.
go. There's my dad,
That's
my mom,
awesome.
and I.
That
with
is
the trophy.
awesome.
Yeah, it
Way
was
to go.
fantastic.
And you are now considered like one of the biggest celebrities in Owen Sound history.
Owen Sound Hall of Fame.
Right?
Listen, I hate to admit this, but Mike Fuda, who we do has on our station,
Yeah.
fantastic guy. He was the general manager of the Onside Attack when they won the championship. And it's just like, he like brought this town, and he always makes fun. He's like, people know you more than they know me.
Yeah. Fuchs is the dude there.
Fuchs should be the guy.
Yeah.
Anyways. so
Figure
there you
it
go.
out,
I
eh?
know.
Feuds, figure it out.
But it was fantastic. And Jays look good this weekend.
Ooh.
Boy.
Are they going to lose this year?
They're going to lose. They're going to go like 8-1 or 7-2 through this stretch. They play the crappy Rockies and then the White Sox. And this is going to get to a fever pitch against the Dodgers. They're going to go into that series like 8-1 or 7-2, and it's going to be a lot of memories. Anyways, Leafs.
Yep. Back to the Leafs. So tonight, they have Gruel back in for
Okay, what's the deal?
Emergency.
He got sent down because he couldn't play in the playoffs.
Do we care?
well,
I want to talk about Cassidy or DeBoer.
Okay.
That's
okay. No, hold on.
I was care about Gruel.
Yeah, so he got sent down because they didn't want to burn a year off his deal,
Yes.
or he would be ineligible to play playoff games for the Marlies.
He would have to go through waivers to play AHL games for the Marlies. So they sent him down before he could play too many games.
Yeah.
But he's allowed to come up for emergency recall, and that's what this is tonight. This is emergency
Well,
recall.
what is the
That-
emergency?
That's a Pritam.
They have created an emergency.
You got to
of their
beat the
own.
crap out of
Yeah,
Gudas.
we
That's the emergency.
emergently need to beat
Yeah.
this guy up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
So I was just gonna say a bunch of Quillen's in, Pizzetta's in, whatever. Coaches.
Coaches.
So do you asked about DeBoer
Yeah.
or Cassidy? Cassidy's a fascinating one to me. He's one of the few coaches who have demonstrated repeatable results, success in the league with multiple franchises, been to 2 cup finals, different teams, has won one, does seem to wear out his welcome after a certain amount of time.
Yeah, he's got that 3.5 year window, which has been following coaches like historically, the
What
Keenans, the
coaches-
Burns, where it's just like, that's enough.
The one thing, a lot of people, what tends to happen in coaches and like relationships, because I know you like to talk about that stuff.
I love it when you do
If
this.
people do a drastic swing, right? You're with
Yes.
a nice guy, and he's not cool enough. And
Yeah.
you're with the bad boy, and then with you as coaches, you get Babcock, and then Sheldon Keefe. and
Good
then
cop,
Berube.
bad cop, I like to call them.
But here's the thing:
Bad cop, bad cop.
Berube had the perception of bad cop, not a bad cop. Didn't enforce.
No.
was-
Mediocre cop.
Yeah, didn't hold accountability like
Yes.
we thought he would. We didn't see anything
Yeah.
that we thought we were going to see. I think Cassidy is what people thought Berube was. And so I think you'd be fine to go with another guy like this who's a proven good coach who's a bit of a bad cop at times. Good coach.
I look at those Vegas metrics, and I mean,
They're one of the best defensive teams in the league still.
I've had it, pumped into my Twitter feed
Yeah.
for the whole day. They're. I think Aiden Hill is the worst goalie with goals saved above expected in the league.
Yeah, he got killed by bad goaltending.
Schmid is on that
Hill.
list too. Hart's on that list too. Like, they just can't get a save. They look pretty good still as a system
Yes.
under him. Good personnel too. Don't get me wrong, but
The one thing that is also clear, though, despite what you think of the goaltending he is that coach that, to your point, just grinds players to like the point where it's like, I've had enough. And that's also happened in Boston and in Vegas now.
Torts is such a funny solution to that problem.
If they were so good, like, are we going to hear one guy standing up and saying, he's a good coach and I can't believe he's gone? Like, that doesn't tend to happen with a guy like Cassidy because he's so hard on his players.
Keenan before? Would you?
Oh, gosh, I don't know where we were when we found out Keenan got fired. I think we were at Adam Graves' wedding in Windsor.
No way.
And I never seen Brian Leach do a backflip before. And I think I saw him do one on the dance floor.
But like, you got a cup with them, you know?
I know.
So do the Knights with Cassidy.
Right.
But it wears down the players. And
Clips would be so much better. He gives great media answers.
I gotta tell you,
hold on for a second. So
I want Bruce Cassidy.
Do you really believe that if a hard ass came in like Cassidy, like you're gonna save Willie Nylander now and his future here, and he's gonna be the guy that you thought he was gonna be years ago?
I don't think it hurts because I don't think if you don't bring in a taskmaster and you let Willie run with the kite again, it's not great. You know,
But he's not going to run again, and it won't work, is my point.
Well, who works with Willie then? If a hardline accountability guy doesn't work with him, who works with him?
A team that is surrounded with 3 or 4 or 5 guys around him that, you know,
So coach can fix Willie's problem, is your point?
No coach is going to come in here.
Well, then
Cassidy
that conversation's irrelevant.
And change Willie now.
Can I ask? Like, I think there's 2 different conversations here.
Yeah.
You mentioned that he's he's a fast burn guy. I think he was in Boston for 7 seasons. That's a pretty long time for anybody to be there. 4 years now in a certain team is like that's. I mean, outside of Cooper and Bednar, I mean, I think Martin St. Louis is the 4th longest tenure. Nobody lasts long anymore.
But I think Kip's point would be, they're winning, so they keep them. But maybe the guys are sick of them somewhere in that tenure early. Is that fair?
Let a new team get sick of him. Let a new team get sick of him. I think if your philosophy with Keith Pelly and everybody that's here, if your philosophy is to be good again next year, Kipper.
Yes.
But it's not.
But it's
not. There's you got to be realistic here. If
they're not trying another kick at the can.
If you get a guy like Cassidy or DeBoer or somehow you get Doug Armstrong to come in, like, as brilliant as they appear to be, you got to be realistic here on where this group of guys are going here. Like, how do you save this? How do you those names can't take what they have right now presently and turn them into Stanley Cup contenders in 12 months.
No, but then I guess is the argument try not to get a good coach?
No, the argument is to get the right coach at the right time.
Okay.
For the build. Like Cassidy.
But I don't think the
Cassidy
team thinks
and
they're
DeBoer,
doing a big build, Kevin.
I don't know if Cassidy or DeBoer are interested in coming here and trying to rebuild a team in 3 or 4 years.
But I don't think this team thinks they're doing that. That's a totally different conversation. I don't think that, because to do that, then you're trading Willie and Matthews this summer. Well, I know it's something you think should happen, but I don't think they're going to do it because they're still selling tickets.
I've said this.
Well, they want to. They certainly don't not want to.
I know, but it's been a tough. Like, you have them now, basically. I know Matthews is hurt, and you have them now. Been not a lot of people that interested to fight over going to a game now.
Yeah, this season she's cooked, pal.
She's cooked, but like she could be cooked next November too.
Certainly could.
So I've said this a million times on the show before. You've had one bad season in a decade where you missed the playoffs. First time ever they've missed the playoffs.
But the lineup is significantly weaker in that short period.
It's been significantly weaker. I totally agree with that, and it looks. But I'm not just willing to. If they have one of the elite coaches in the league, and he's coming in here and they're like, hey, it's this fast burn thing, a couple years where you're trying to be good again, you're trying to be decent again. Listen, do I think they're going to win a Stanley Cup? No. I don't think they'll ever win a Stanley Cup with this core. And it depends what you want to do. If you want to be the mid-2000s Raptors or the mid-2010 Raptors where you're half decent and you make the second round or whatever, but like they should probably want to be that as like a business, no? Like just going into next year and being like, we're trading Austin Matthews at age 28 and trading William Nylander at age 29. It's over after 1 year missing the playoffs. Like it just takes
bringing in a rookie coach because this is going to be a long haul.
A bit of creativity.
It may be. It may be.
I know that it may be a long haul. I'm never going to sit here and say it isn't.
I think, but
I'm
3 or 4 years in today's world, when we've watched Detroit potentially being out of the playoffs for the 10th consecutive year, 8 under Stevie Y, 7 or 8 under Stevie Y, 3 or 4. Consider yourself lucky.
Well, but that's the risk in the rebuild, is that it might be 9. And so if you're
already 14,
a team that
if you're Buffalo,
like if you have a couple of pieces to tear it down and be like, might be 9, let's find out. It's a big risk to take. And I don't think the organization wants to make that risk. Without seeing what Matthews looks like next year, I don't think they do.
Yeah.
I mean, hey,
again, so many factors.
You do, and that's fine.
So many factors can play in this, and I'll always say that the number one is, hey, Austin, how do you feel about this? We're going to need a couple of years here to turn this thing around. I can't get you frontline guys, and I can't get you in a position where we all feel like we can compete for the Stanley Cup as early as October. Yeah. So how do you feel about that?
That's the most
you want to stick around?
Reason it all gets blown up is he says, which I think is 51% possible, that he says, I just don't want to be a part of that.
So, and then where are you, Sammy?
Well,
with DeBoer. Like DeBoer's got to potentially move.
I got my sights on Cassidy.
Okay.
I do.
Yeah.
I think he's a really great coach, and I think he got a raw deal in Vegas with them having the worst goaltending in the league. I've always liked Cassidy. I just don't. I've said my piece. I don't think they should just give up after one bad year. It takes some creativity. You can be a decent team next year. You can be a playoff team next year. Maybe not a cup contender, but like just rebuilding right now to me, it just seems way too quick.
Like, I'm with you.
Cassidy had his challenges with Eichel.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think Eichel could be a little difficult.
Yeah, I think there's.
Did you see his line changes?
No.
He makes Willie look like he's sprinting to the bench.
Yeah. I think he can be a bit of a challenge. And, you know, when you win, things are good. It's like the JT Miller thing. When it's not going good, I think he's probably a challenge. Like, start of this year, he had a bunch of points, right? And it was like, is Eichel, like, now he's an MVP guy. He's going to be the top of the – you check his numbers, he's not what I expected out of his season. Put it that way.
Just quickly checking the Tankathon rankings, boys, before we hit the break. The Leafs are
Florida sneaking behind the Leafs.
Florida is
brutal,
really bad. I'm going to sim the lottery once here for our Leafs listeners. The Leafs are giving the 6th pick to the Boston Bruins. Vancouver gets the first pick. Rangers second. Chicago.
All right.
Sorry. I was hoping for Leafs so bad, man.
All right. I'm having a tough day.
We're just getting warmed up here on the Real Kyper and Bourne Show. We go national next. Hockey Night in Canada, Sportsnet's very own host, David Amber, as we go across the league. Biggest news, Vegas Golden Knights have a new head coach, John Tortorella. Bad cop, bad cop.
Unbelievable.
Can you believe it?
I can't. It's crazy.
All right, plenty more. Do not go away. All right, let's kick it up a notch here. Real Kyper and Bourne Show. It is the National Hour edition of our program. We're live on Sportsnet. Sportsnet 650 in Vancouver, 960 in Calgary, streaming always on Sportsnet Plus. Also available Spotify, Apple Podcast, and YouTube, where we give a big thumbs up to our returning Sammy McKee.
He's back.
With back. Where's the trophy? You won a trophy with your dad on the weekend.
Yeah.
When do you get your day with it?
I don't.
Oh.
No. We won it in 2016 with the Ugly Moose, and then 10 years later went back and won it again in 2020.
You've got no etymology, no way to trace the name of this team?
I forget.
Ugly Moose?
I actually don't know. No.
Okay.
Also on board, Nick Kypreos, Justin Bourne, Jake the Snake Schultz, Derek Brandeo. This hour of Real Kyper and Bourne brought to you by Bet365. In a few minutes, we'll welcome in David Amber, studio host, Hockey Night in Canada, NHL on Sportsnet. Always fun with DA.
Yeah, absolutely.
In the meantime, biggest news, Vegas.
Say that again.
Golden Knights have a new coach named John Tortorella. Ever heard of him?
I have heard of him. He's been in the league before. Shocker to say the least. Where were you
Is
when?
it really a shocker? Because
It is a
this is an organization that has no problem saying goodbye to Pete DeBoer and Jared Gallant and putting them in a cab and sending them home and going, next.
Yeah. No, listen, I love the way Vegas operates. They try to win every year, and they should. Everyone should do stuff like Vegas does stuff. I'm totally cool with that. I am shocked that they would fire him with 8 or 9 games to go, and with Torts being the guy in.
8
to go.
So clearly.
But, they should. They can't win a game.
And have you seen? I think their next 3 is Vancouver,
So
Vancouver, Calgary.
The real question is,
boys.
how good or how bad are they? And if this really comes down to a goalie making a save, how is Tortorella going to change anything?
Fresh start, baby. Fresh vibes.
Fresh energy.
Fresh
just the vibes and energy.
Yeah.
I can go with that. I bought into that in the past. Sometimes it's just a change of energy.
Well, it's just if you do one thing one way long enough and it doesn't work, it's all I know is that way doesn't work. So we got to try something else. I don't know if this way works. I just know that way doesn't. And I guess they got to feeling like that, unless there was some internal incident that you're aware of that you're going to enlighten us all about.
No.
Okay.
No. I think there's probably a lot of internal that.
The perks playing and being in Vegas and
he
not Canada.
Is a guy that is very hard on his players, and I don't think there's anybody shedding a real tear in that dressing room for Cassidy.
No. The one thing I think for Torts as a hire is stars tend to like him because he plays the heck out of them. Like Eichel, Marner, Stone. He's going to put those guys on the ice.
I saw ice time after the first period. I think Vegas and Washington, and Nick Dowd played more than Mitch Marner in the first period.
Yeah. I'm guessing some of this stems from, frustrated players.
Did you guys want to hear either from McCrimmon or Tortorella? We have a few clips. McCrimmon kind of did an overview of what happened with their struggles.
Okay.
About a minute long clip. Bear with him here, but it's kind of an overview of it. So clip 1, Kelly McCrimmon, please. Kelly McCrimmon, clip 1, please.
Of that, 25-26 has been a challenging season for our team. Like a lot of teams, like all teams, very compressed schedule. We had 8 Olympians, would have been 9 if William Karlsson had have been able to go. It puts a lot of demands on the players. Bruce as well was part of the staff. I think somewhere along the way we lost our spirit and we lost our energy as a team. We went into the Olympic break in first place. We'd been in first place for 96 days. Since then, we're 5-10-2. Since a 7-game winning streak in January, we're 8-15-4. We've gone from first to second to third to fighting for a playoff spot. We waited as long as we could on this. We see lots of positive signs in spurts in our game, but we just felt that we needed to bring a different person in to lead our team.
Okay.
Yeah, he's right. It was quick.
Compelling case.
This again, we've got some
good breakdown.
We've got some great insiders in our game, including our very own Elliot Friedman. nobody got wind of this because it happened so darn quick.
But it's once you know. If you're like, we just don't want to ride with this guy, you just got to do it.
Yeah.
And Kelly's right. They went from first to second to, oh my God, if we don't do this, we could miss the playoffs. That's what they were really worried about. Forget about a Stanley Cup right now.
Yeah.
They were worried
we need a bump.
They could have ended up missing the playoffs.
Totally random tangent. I'm just take this other direction. 2015, I was cutting clips for the Leafs. I would go to their dressing room and I would just cut clips for their draft just by randomness. And Kelly McCrimmon interviewed I saw him come in the room with the higher ups for head coach of the Leafs. He had just won the Memorial Cup, I think, and he came in to coach the Leafs. Wow. And Guy Boucher, and I think that was around the time Sheldon would have got hired.
No, Babs.
Babs
then.
Yeah.
Yes, those
Babcock.
guys came in pre-Babs.
Do you know Guy Boucher
got the job. Basically.
thought he had the job.
Yeah.
And then
Babs called up and said he doesn't have the job anymore.
Shanahan
flew the plane in.
Stayed with it.
Yeah.
And then Babs, that old Babs, played Buffalo Sabres off of the Leafs.
Poor old Mike Harrington.
And got $50+ million bucks.
Oh my God.
So I was in this little room they had where we were just cutting some of these video clips, and Guy Boucher was in there talking about renos. He was like, we're going to take down this wall, the coach's office. I want to put a window in so I can communicate with the players. He was redoing the room.
Oh my God.
He was that much the coach.
That's fascinating.
While they were making calls to Babcock, he was downstairs doing that.
Yeah. And they're upstairs.
Oh my God.
The infidelity.
Woof. Poor Guy. Let's do the second McCrimmon clip on why Tortorella. Clip 2.
In John Tortorella, when we're at our best, we play hard, we play fast, we get on teams early. I think that lines up with John's philosophy as a coach. Defensively, we're very much aligned with how his teams play. We're 8 games remaining in the regular season. There's not time to come in and implement new systems across the board. There'll be tweaks, and I think the other thing that we're expecting is that within the system that we play, we have guys that do it a little bit better than we have been doing it. I think that John has great passion, great energy. He's a great communicator. He's very respected in the industry, experienced, comfortable in his own skin. I think he's going to give our team a spark.
I mean, tough to argue with that short-term logic. He's got an 8-game contract.
Both of those things that
playoffs.
he said, totally reasonable and fair.
Yeah.
Like I hate Vegas a lot of times because of some of the stuff that they've done and me whining about the over the cap stuff and the
That's fair. They
chicanery.
complain about that.
But they care a ton about
Trying to
winning.
win all the time.
He's going to have to motivate some underachievers there.
Totally.
And I don't know what happened to Turtle. But, this guy was considered a big power guy.
Mm-hmm. He had 25 goals.
But the other night, he couldn't play him much more than 12 minutes.
6'3", 220, 32 years old. He's got 54 points in 74 games.
Yeah.
Dash 18.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah.
So look at the dashes.
That's a huge
Look at the different dashes.
Mm-hmm.
Because you still have Marner, I think, and Eichel. They're plus players.
Yeah, they're plus
Right?
12, 13, 14. That's Stone.
Think
Eichel,
about that for
Marner.
a second.
That's a huge difference.
How do you have one
Shea
or two
Theodore's
lines
plus 10.
at plus 12 or 14, and then you got
Riley
a line
Smith,
at
dash
minus
14.
14.
Minus 17.
They're getting killed by their third line.
Before we get to DA, did you want to hear one from Torts? He
Very
says
much.
on taking over with only 8 games left is the best of the two. So let's play that one before we get to DA. Clip 2.
In this business here, whether you're a player or a coach, I think you need to have the ability to accept a challenge, right? And I got bombed out of Philly with 9 games left last year. Now I come here with 8 games left in a new job. It's a couple of crazy situations I've never been involved for, but that's the league. That's that's pro sports, and I think as coaches and players, when you get to this level, the highest level of the game, you need to be prepared to handle that stuff. And I'm very fortunate to get the opportunity. I don't know Kelly as well as George. Mr. Foley also, I talked to him on the phone. I'm very fortunate to get the opportunity to work with this managers group and players because the organization is so well respected.
This is awesome for the league. I'm sorry.
I'm not.
Torts taking over with 8 left before the playoffs is fantastic.
I'm not sure that's pro sports, but it's his pro sports. Like,
What do you mean?
I mean, he plays this beautifully. He gets fired. He goes on TV. He talks about how brilliant he is, and an owner hires him.
But they do that in every sport.
Not as many times as this guy does it.
Well,
Torts' longevity
no,
is pretty
Torts
crazy.
is it's like he invented this.
I think that's true, but like that is a thing that coaches
I
do
know
across
it
all
is.
sports. Like Mike
I've
Tomlin,
lived it. I've
Mike
lived
Tomlin's
it
going to be
with-
on Fox this year. Like Sean Payton did Fox. Berube did TNT. Guys do it
buddy.
every time.
Yeah,
Listen,
but some
I
guys
worked
are
with
the goat at it.
Keenan, Paul Maurice.
Yeah.
I get
Scott
it.
Maurice did the TV.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he was good.
Oh, yeah. He loved it until we had beer bottles thrown at us in Calgary during the playoffs.
Why?
Because they were all drunk, and I think Calgary lost that game, and we were outside, and our backs were to the crowd coming out, and it got so bad that they killed us in the middle of our hit and shut the lights off because a beer bottle almost took out Paul Maurice.
That's funny.
Wow.
The one thing I'm sure with Torts is like, I know there's college coaches who know systems better than, like the ins and outs of complicated whatever. Like, I think Torts is a great motivator, and that's what he is. He knows the basic. I know he knows all this stuff, but I just don't think he thinks the game is complicated. Very simple.
Brooksy, if I want to explain it to you, I would.
He gets the motivation.
Love that he's
I don't know how good they are. I'm like, can they be a top team? Can they? I watched them against Edmonton the other night, and
They better be.
I didn't think they could do it.
Come on.
Game
Shea
7.
Theodore and Rasmus Anderson,
We have
Barbashev,
DA.
Hurdle,
Mid.
Dorfeyev, Stone,
I think
Marner,
we have DA.
Eichel.
We have DA?
We do.
Mid.
Oh, we do.
All right, let's welcome him in. We pumped him up all week.
Good day, good day.
David Amber,
What's up,
Hockey Night
guys?
Canada, Sportsnet.
How you guys doing?
We're good. Okay. So usually when we see a coach is firing and it's a bit of a hard ass, like a Bruce Cassidy, they go to a nicer, softer guy, right? Good cop, bad cop. But we're kind of getting bad cop here, aren't we, DA?
What kind of topsy-turvy world are we living in when John Tortorella is being brought in as the sympathetic figure, the soft voice to ease them into this time where they're obviously struggling? I thought that was pretty interesting as well. And, I think Kelly McCrimmon, I was just listening to the clips you guys played, and he laid it out pretty simply why he went with Tortorella, that instant spark, didn't have to adjust too many things, just has to sort of tweak a few things. And as Justin just pointed out, right, like he'll have the attention of the room, and I think that's all really important. However, if I'm a Vegas Knights fan, I'm probably, this isn't lightning in a bottle, chances are, right? Like John Tortorella has a Stanley Cup 20 some odd years ago. And he's had a lot of success with different teams, but his recent history, granted with different teams, he's made it past the first round once in the last decade, right? In his last 10 years as a coach, he's won one playoff series. So, I'm not sure it's just going to be snap the fingers and everything's going to be honky-dory, but, I think you guys touched on it all. Cassidy, there's a shelf life. There's a shelf life for John Tortorella too. And for those types of really tough coaches who demand a lot. And for some players, as we've seen, it works wonderfully. And a lot of players, especially even from that Olympic run that the U.S. just went on, said they couldn't speak glowingly enough for how well John Tortorella helped lead that team and motivate that team. And for some players, it doesn't work. So it'll be really interesting. One thing I'm going to say, guys, is everyone's better buy into blocking shots because, there's no bailing out on anything with John Tortorella. He sees everything. He'll call out everything. He makes everyone very accountable. But you're right, Nick. I would have thought, good cop, bad cop to a Boudreau or something like Gallant or whatever. Not going to Boudreau or Gallant in this specific case, but that type of kinder, gentler voice. But I guess they sort of know one way and one way only, right? DeBoer, Cassidy, and now Tortorella.
So do we still think of Vegas as, like a West Cup threat where, them and Edmonton still chasing down the Ducks? But before you came on there, I'm sure you heard, they got 9 guys that are legitimate, well, I shouldn't say stars, but very, very good players.
Well, let me ask you a question. Can John Tortorella play goal?
Yeah.
Unless he can,
a newly motivated goaltending crew.
we talk about the Ottawa Senators, and if only they had average goaltending, they'd be fighting for first in the East. Well, if Vegas had average goaltending, they'd be fighting for first in the West. They'd be right, probably just behind Colorado or right with Dallas. You know, they've had league worst save percentage, untimely goals. It's been a mess. And if they were in a Canadian market, we would be, shining a much brighter light on that. But I think one thing about John Tortorella is, and I think Elliot pointed this out on a show earlier today, is that he does have a relationship with Carter Hart, and maybe he's played, Carter Hart's played some of his better hockey under John Tortorella, and if Hart's coming back, maybe there will solve some of that mystery as far as where the goaltending's gone for Vegas. But I don't know. I mean, the average person's still saying Colorado, Dallas, Minnesota in the Central is where it's at. I still am going to hold some hope for Edmonton simply because I think they might have an easier path to the conference final. And, we all know attrition plays such a big role. The healthier the team, the better the chance you have to advance and win the Stanley Cup. So I'm not going to rule out Edmonton at all.
You're watching and listening to David Amber, studio host, Hockey Night in Canada, NHL on Sportsnet. Do you think a firing like this, and it's right out of the page of Lou Lamoriello, who did it, I think, a couple of times in the early 2000s, would force other teams, playoff or non-playoff teams, to kind of look in the mirror? I don't expect anything out of Edmonton, but there's some people that think that, the Oilers should maybe think about it. But, I mean, does it make others put their focus on looking in the mirror?
You know what, Kyper? I mean, it's a copycat league, right? We remember, didn't Daryl Sutter take over that Kings team midstream? We all know Craig Berube took over the Blues midstream. We've seen this a number of times where guys come in midstream and led them to the promised land. We saw that, what was Larry Robinson over Fatorik?
Yeah.
I think that's what you're referencing with Lou Lamoriello. Yeah. But, the word I would use to describe Vegas is ruthless. And that kind of has a negative connotation, but quite frankly, they're doing everything in their power. They read a situation and then they address a situation, and they're trying to win, which for every fan base should be the ultimate goal. And if they think this is it, no loyalty to anyone, that's not the nicest way to do business. But at the same time, they're going about their business to try and win. So would this open up other teams' eyes? I don't know. Vegas seems to just operate in a completely different vacuum than the large majority of teams. There's no real humanity there at all. It served them well so far, but I'm not sure that's the blueprint for every management group. And we'll see if this works out, because this, again, and I was saying before, I'm just not sure this is going to be snap the fingers and solve all the issues, because Vegas, as McCrimmon pointed out, have been pretty subpar for about 2 months now. Sometimes you get that coaching bump, and sometimes it's a little too late. And we're just gonna have to wait and see. I think other teams, listen, if Vegas wins a cup, Nick, will other teams go, damn, we needed to be a bit more bold. We had those opportunities and we were too chicken to do that. Conceivably, yeah. If they win a cup, I'm sure there'll be some people who think that way.
It's funny, looking at the standings in the East, it's like everyone is just trying to get the little bump they can. It's so tight. And you're looking at Detroit and Philly have switched spots in terms of more likely to make playoffs. Philly, slight better chance. Meanwhile, Ottawa loses a game this weekend. Massive stakes in these games. They got an $8.5 million goal. He's not available to play. And the coach says, we would like to play him every night, something to that effect. And they don't have Allmark. What do you make of the way the team seems to feel about it? Because it feels like we can't say something negative, but we feel pretty bad about this.
Well, first of all, the 2 games ago that they lost, Allmark, I thought, played really well. If you remember that save he had in the last few seconds of overtime decided to push it into and then Kindle unfortunately beat him with the little 5-hole trick, kind of cheeky shot in the shootout. But I thought Allmark played really well in that game. I was a bit surprised that they went with Reimer, and that's no knock on Reimer, but it's again, you have a Vezina winning $8 million goalie. You brought him in specifically for these moments, so I'm not sure what happened there. Did they say he was unavailable?
Sorry, Dave. Are we under? I think we're under the impression that Allmark did not want to play.
Rest. He needed a rest.
He either approached the team or strongly suggested or just said, "No, I need to rest this game."
That's tough, man. That's tough. This isn't a load management league. We know this is especially this time of year, and quite frankly, he needed the mental health break earlier, and I'm glad he had that. But you'd like to think everyone's available. They say that the best ability is availability, and you'd like to think your goalie would be available. Yeah, listen, that's a tough situation. I'm sure there's guys playing through all sorts of injuries on every team right now. So that's not a great look. Again, not being privy to that information, I'm not going to be over judgmental, but I'd like to think if they have to run, they have 9 games left, guys. If they have to run Allmark out there for all 9 games, they're going to do it. And you've heard Winnipeg, who's also fighting for their playoff lives, you've heard them say, if we have to run Hellebuck out there for the last dozen games, we're going to run Hellebuck out there for the last dozen games, even if he's on fumes. So I'd like to think they're going to take the same approach in Ottawa.
Well, this is the thing. It's like we know that statistically goalies aren't great on back-to-backs by some percentage, but like we'll take you less than 100%. Most guys are playing less than 100% most of the time this time of year. So I think it's particularly frustrating, and that'll lead me to another team going for it there in Detroit. Now, Detroit has fallen off a little bit, and for the first time, like, are they going to have an uncomfortable Stevie Yzerman conversation if this doesn't? Kippy, you wrote something about this in your article today. What do you think's going on there? And you can toss it to DA from there.
Yeah, just the pressure, obviously, for Detroit, who looked rather comfortable, weeks ago. Yeah. Now all of a sudden in a fight for their playoff lives here, and I'm not here to suggest that Stevie Yzerman's job's on the line, but there's a lot of pressure in Detroit for this team to get in. And there's that relationship with the Ilitch family. Of course, Chris runs the team right now, but it was his parents who drafted him in 1983, I think, that certainly has a stronger bond, or as strong as a bond as you'll ever see between ownership and player.
Yeah, and I agree. And I think that complicates things. I think it's hard to detach. Steve Yzerman led Detroit to 3 or 4 cups. I can't remember how many he was there for. I think 4 cups. He's one of the greatest Red Wings ever and one of the most storied franchises ever in a place that really loves their hockey. And it hasn't been a great run as an executive. I don't think by any metric he would say it's been a success. The team or the fan base would say it's been a success. I would think it'd be not crazy. I just can't see a scenario where they just cut ties with Steve Yzerman. Do they kick him up the ladder as opposed to down the ladder? Do they make him some sort of, president of hockey ops and have someone else doing the day-to-day managerial work? I'm not sure how that would all look or feel, or if that's something Yzerman or the Red Wings would be interested in, but maybe that would be the more natural move here if there was going to be any move. There's a lot of pressure there. We always talk about the pressure in the Canadian markets. Detroit is feeling the pressure. I'm not sure a team needs to make the playoffs more than the Detroit Red Wings are feeling. Remember, they opened up that beautiful new building. Have you guys been to Little Caesars Arena? It's really nice. My son played a game down there back when he was in the GTHL, and it's a beautiful facility.
That's never seen a playoff game, an NHL playoff game.
Never seen a Dylan Larkin, for as good as Dylan Larkin's been, and we used to talk about this with guys like Ron Hainsey and Jeff Skinner, Dylan Larkin's played 5 playoff games his whole life, guys. And I think he's 30 years old now, or 29 years old. It's been a long run. It's been a long run. So there is pressure there. I don't know how Detroit feels, but it's not going to be the Vegas school of, 1 game left in the regular season, let's get rid of Steve Yzerman. I think they're going to do whatever they do. They're going to do it in a much more measured approach and take the time to sort things out. But there's a lot of pressure there in Motown.
David, as I look in our monitor and see your arms busting through your T-shirt with your, must have been an upper body day today for sure, brings me to Toronto and Anaheim. Will we see a muscle game out of Toronto as they go after Gudas tonight?
This is one of those nights, Nick, where I wish the hockey was back in your era. What would you have done? Nick, let's say Austin Matthews was your teammate. What would your response have been tonight?
To not finish the game with my teammates. That would be my responsibility tonight.
And you probably wouldn't be going at Gudas either. I mean, you might go at Gudas, but everyone would be in line. Right?
Yeah.
No one trusts Kip. He'd shoot a puck into the bench.
I'd do my best to make it a 3-hour game tonight.
Yeah, I can't wait to watch you guys on the telecast tonight. What am I anticipating? There's going to be some pushback. I mean, it's funny, if the Leafs don't end up in the bottom 5, the thing that woke that team up was the Austin Matthews injury. They were asleep. They were kind of just playing out the stretch. Then they got called to the carpet. They got embarrassed and shamed a little bit, whether it's by the media, whether it's by their management, whether it's by the fans. But collectively, I think the players all looked in the mirror and said, we need to be better. And I think we've seen them both better as a team and certainly defending one another. Easton Cowan looks like a modern day Tom Wilson. He's running at everything that moves. There's going to be some answering of the bell. What exactly that looks like, I don't know, because today's NHL is very different than when you got, than when you played, Nick. And there will be some payback. And listen, I think we should give Gudas some level of props here. It was a horrific hit, it was a bad hit. But here's a guy who's playing through injury. He's going to come back specifically to answer the bell tonight. And I think in a way he's trying to protect Leo Carlson, Beckett Seneca, Cutter Gauthier. He's trying to protect all their young players because he's saying, if I'm not there, there's going to be blood. There's going to be someone's going to have to answer the bell, and it might as well be me. So I think there's some good accountability there on his behalf, but I do think there'll be an answering of the bell tonight from the Maple Leafs for sure.
The absolute zig of all zigzags came at the start of our Leafs hour when Kip said the thing that bothered him most was the Gudas apologizing.
It's a little over the top for me. Just a
Kip
tad.
wants him to embrace it like a wrestling heel and be like, I done it, so what?
Oh, Nick, I mean, you had some.
I did.
Did you never sent a note? Well, I guess back then there wasn't texting, but did you ever call
Like
a guy?
carrier pigeon an apology to the opposing team liner?
We're in the world now where there's no secrets, man. You can't even make a personal call and apologize to anybody without it getting out. So, listen, I don't want to be a guy that doesn't see value in Gudas wanting to step up and play. Okay. It's either now or next year, but it's coming for sure. I just feel like, at a certain time, whether you're Brad Marchand or Corey Perry or whatever, this is who I am. This is the way I play. Sometimes people get hurt, but to be so over the top apologetic to me is not serving Gudas well, in my opinion.
Are you upset that he actually apologized? Or are you upset that he told the media he reached out and apologized? Like if you just
no. I'm okay with any of that. I don't want to keep hearing I made a mistake and I must pay for it. Right? Mm-hmm. Then just sit there in a chair and let them all throw rocks at you. I don't know.
It's going to be interesting. I mean, the Leafs don't have that personnel really. I mean, it doesn't mean they don't have guys who are brave, but it's more just, there's not that. They don't have Ryan Reeves. They have Pizzetta. They have a couple of guys who can Dakota Joshua. They have a few guys who are willing combatants, but I'm not sure their heavyweight is going to handle, Russ Johnston on the other side there or Anaheim's heaviest heavyweight. So it's going to be very interesting and it'll be sort of the final chapter and we can kind of wash our hands of it and move forward.
Isn't it crazy how, was it always that expectations kind of changed the opinion? I guess I'm looking at the NHL standings, and you're looking at the Philadelphia Flyers, who went into this year, I think, with hopes of being better. Then they were bad, and everyone wanted to talk it fired, and they were mad at them with the Michkov stuff, whatever. Now they're back in the playoff hunt, and I saw Flyers fans saying, inject the post game right into my veins. Like, I love, fan bases swing on teams like they never have before. From week to week, it feels like.
Social media.
Is that what it is? Just the amplifier of everything?
Yeah, and it's funny. It's a loud minority. I mean, do you ever go onto social media after your show and some goofballs telling you mispronounced this or you had the
We're scared too, David.
Yeah. Yeah. I call it anti-social media. Honestly, it's and listen, 99% of it is positive, depending on your situation.
99%.
No,
51.
You're living good, DA.
Or a lot
They're scared of you.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying. I just think it's the guy in the basement angry because this happened and that happened, and I'm letting everyone know anonymously how I feel. You really can't take it to heart. And Brian Burke used to say, the day I start listening to the fans, I'm going to be looking for a job, because you have to manage your teams accordingly. If you're a player, you have to. How many times we hear the expression Toronto, I just got to forget about the white noise. Like it's a thing, right? And in Philadelphia, I'm sure that was a thing for Rick Tocchet to not buy into all this. I think he knows how to handle players better than Bob on his keyboard.
Totally.
Who's
Porter Martone time
an
for
expert.
him.
You know, even the Flyers getting into this thing, they're still on the outside with Detroit and Ottawa. How do these clubs feel when they watch Columbus and Boston take 3 points on the weekend?
Not good. I mean, this is what makes it so difficult. I do wonder if they're ever going to revamp. You know, I think Elliott's talked about this at the Board of Governors, that they're thinking about this 3 for a regulation win, 2 for an overtime win, maybe none for a overtime loss. Like, there's a way to kind of differentiate. Like, it's funny. Almost every team seemingly has an above 500 record because of the regulation / shootout or overtime / shootout wins being added. So it gives this skewed sense of how good teams are, these 3-point games. And this year, I think we've seen an inordinate amount of 3-point games. So it's been incredibly tough to climb. I remember Winnipeg went on a 9-2-2 run, and they gained 2 points in the overall standings because some of the teams in front of them, did equally as well at the time. So it has been a bit of a snail's chase at times in the Western Conference. But in the East, I think you're now at 9 games left for Ottawa. What's gonna work? 7-1-1.
Jeez.
8-1. I can't imagine if they have 3 regulation losses, I can't imagine Ottawa will make the playoffs. If they go 6-3, which is very reasonable, winning 2/3 of your games, I'm not sure they have enough to get past everyone with these 3-point games. So whether you're Detroit, Philadelphia, Ottawa, you need the wins, you need the regulation wins, and you're watching the scoreboard and praying when it's those other teams in contention that they're not picking up the loser point, which has been such a big storyline this year.
All right, buddy. Really appreciate your time. Thanks for doing this,
tonight.
buddy.
I can't wait for tonight. It'll be fun. Have a great show.
You gonna stay up that late, DA?
Hell yeah, I'm there.
He loves hockey.
Yeah,
you love hockey. All right, pal. Thanks again, David Amber. Everybody.
See you, buddy.
Sammy, you want to do game time, or we're going to do it after the break?
No, I'm going to do game time now, and then we'll go to break.
Okay.
It's game time, presented by Bet365, an official partner of the NHL, must be 18 plus, Ontario only. Please play responsibly. My beloved Toronto Blue Jays back at it tonight. Huge favorites in the game tonight. -290 against the Colorado Rockies. They were historically bad last year. They got swept by the mighty Miami Marlins to start the season. Our boy Owen Casey walk-off bomb in the last game of that series, so he's looking good. What I was going to give tonight, just looking at some of the the batter props for the Toronto Blue Jays. Give me a Addison Barger home run tonight. Love the way he's looked at the dish. So yeah, give me an Addison Barger home run tonight at +450. So there you go.
You like our boy Jesus Sanchez up there?
I would say that the only person in the building that didn't like that swing was Nathan Lucas, because he pulverized that.
Yeah, that was.
Sanchez is wearing 12.
12, yeah.
I kind of have a problem with that.
Why?
It's
my number.
Alomar.
Oh.
Yeah, but Alomar.
I know. There's this history with Alomar.
Anyway,
fun player.
That was game time presented by Bet365, an official partner of the NHL, must be 19 plus, Ontario only. Please play responsibly.
Okay, we'll take a quick break, catch our breath, and when we return, we'll talk about the Philadelphia Flyers. Could an NCAA freshman come in and help them right away? And also the Pittsburgh Penguins. A lot of whining and complaining out of the Pittsburgh Penguins.
From a Dubas team? No way.
Oh, we'll get into that more when we return to Real Kyper and Bourne. As a reminder, this hour of Real Kyper and Bourne brought to you by Bet365. Nick Kypreos, Justin Bourne, Sammy McKee.
Okay, so today you wrote an article. It's up on sportsnet.ca. I highly recommend people read it. Talking about front offices, what could happen this offseason. Not a lot of not telling you what I know, just telling you what I hear. I don't know.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Nailed it.
And we talked about the Leaf stuff in the Leafs hour. So I wanted to ask you about a couple of the other cities that you mentioned.
Yeah.
Detroit was mentioned, Toronto was mentioned, but Vancouver was featured prominently.
No real sense right now in terms of we've heard Jimmy Rutherford all season long pretty much talk about a rebuild, and kind of took a while for him to get there, right?
Yeah. But they sure committed.
And where
they
is
weren't
he?
going to do that going. They were trying to win. Dollywall comes on our show and says they're trying to win this year.
Yeah.
Every time. So they were forced.
So in saying that, it just in terms of Jimmy Rutherford, where is he on this, on a short or long-term deal, if he's interested in going through the process of it? Aquilini family, obviously the owners, Francesco is the face of it. No real sense, too, in terms of huge commitment out of him yet. Much like the Leafs, everybody's waiting. Patrick Alvin, I think, has told a few people close around him that he does not expect to be back. So does that mean Jimmy stays on? And does Jimmy even move to a role where it's less day-to-day and then they bring someone else in? Nobody really has a sense just yet what direction Vancouver's going in. But once again, that's a market where people ultimately expect changes. To what degree? We don't know yet for sure.
It's funny, like it almost doesn't feel like Alvin was, I don't know how empowered he was. Like he just heard stuff that like, you got to talk to Jim about that at times when they were talking about bigger trades. But yeah, at some point you got to win. They got 50 points right now. 31st in the NHL has 67.
50.
Buddy, they're 17 back of 31st.
That's crazy.
Like there's bad and then there's whatever that is.
Yeah.
That's not quick turnaround territory. So I am curious to know, would Rutherford, what does he want to do?
Yeah.
Like, does he want the Leafs job? Is that,
he's 77 years old. So
77?
Yeah, he's getting up there. And I think Alvin, it was always the thought that Alvin would be groomed to eventually maybe take over even as a president type of scenario if Jimmy wanted to shut it all down. But
yeah, really tough to even know how to evaluate Alvin, knowing Rutherford.
It's really hard for these markets, and we'll include New Jersey as well, when expectations were a lot higher. There's still a sense that there has to be some accountability to the fans. It's just not good enough to bring everybody back again and say, we're going to get them next year.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I wonder if something greater is in the works there for assistant GMs and the whole.
I don't know what your guys' philosophy on it is, but if you were a incoming general manager, at least unlike the Leafs job, where there is just murkiness in terms of what direction you're trying to go and what the ownership will want from the team and all the different, I think it's pretty clear that they are in a full-blown rebuild. And if you go in there, you're going to get to put your real fingerprints on it pretty much immediately. In terms of it's a Canadian market. They have
They have
2 first-round picks this year, 2 second-round picks, 3 third-round picks this year. I think there's probably some attractiveness to that job.
I think so too.
Oh gosh,
great market.
You end up with a couple of fresh faces, top picks this round, first pick overall.
They get Gavin McKenna.
It's a game changer.
It is, and just emotionally, it's a game changer for the franchise. You change out a front office person or two, and they can turn around the vibes at the very least. You look at Calgary.
Couple bad contracts, though. That Pedersen and Besser are both.
But if you want to walk it all back to getting rid of Horvat or whatever,
Besser's had atrocious season. I don't. It's his worst season, isn't it?
It's got to be. Yeah.
I don't know what he has. Does he have 16 goals? 17 goals?
They've bungled all the things to do with the Stars. But there's no doubt that's why they're there.
There's
he
ways.
Has 17 goals in 65 games, boys. He's a .37.
Green jacket. That's got to be.
There's still, and I don't know if he's 29 yet.
He is 29 years old.
Okay.
February 25th. Just turned 29.
Just turned 29.
Mhm.
He's a goal scorer. He's going to be attractive to another team.
Oh, you think?
Well,
he's 4 back.
You may have to eat some of that.
Who's got the green jacket right now?
Artem Levshinov.
You may have to eat some of the money.
Okay.
But he's movable, and so is Pettersson too.
Pettersson, I saw someone tweet, and God, we do this often. I apologize, I don't remember who, but I want to say last year after 64 games, he had 15 goals and 30 assists for 45 points. Exact stat line this year. You know, like it's not like he's finding it. Like this might be who he is.
Did you guys see the Flyers parade their top pick, Porter?
Martone. They had all the
Martone.
Philly media taking Zapruder style images, grainy, like zoomed in on this kid, like he's in the building.
Okay. I get that they feel like he could be their Celebrini or, someone to really.
He's a real
deal
frontline prospect.
He is, for sure. But
he's going to be perfect in Philly, by the way.
The team's down there playing, trying to save their season here. I didn't understand the timing of in front of the media and bring him all out there at that particular time.
Well, I think they're going to use him, right? Like he's
no,
here
I'm
now.
just saying that there's a hockey game going on. It's not like you're bringing him in to meet him behind a boardroom here. You're doing it in front of your 18,000 fans, and the players are watching this too go on.
There's someone in that lineup going, "Welp,
it's
he's playing instead of me tomorrow."
Excuse me, I know you guys want to get to know each other, but
we have a clip of Cassidy getting asked by Philly.
Can we just play the game?
You want to hear the clip?
Who's that?
You got asked by the ringside report.
Yeah,
if we could play that clip there, Derek, it'd be great.
And I know you are very much a leader on this team in a crucial point of the season, but all of a sudden you're seeing this youth movement here with this team. Guys on the ice, Porter Martone is watching this game currently in a Flyers suite. What's that like from your perspective, seeing this youth movement?
Yeah, I mean, it's great. It's awesome the time of year that we're in, trying to push to get into the playoffs, and you're trying to get these guys in the lineup, and it speaks volumes to the players that they are. They're pros already. They're ready to get in and make a difference in our lineup. So it's great seeing those guys, and we'll focus on the third period here, and then we'll worry about Marty after.
TK, have a great
There
third
you
period.
go.
Thanks so much.
We're in a playoff race.
He's like, I'm
there you go.
currently in the battle of an NHL game.
Yeah,
If we lose this game, we miss playoffs. So I'll be right back.
I love Konechny.
I love him too.
That's
for that.
the one that chaps me.
Yeah.
The most. The Leafs taking Dermott instead of trading out of the first round to take Dermott instead of Konechny. That one chaps me forever.
Don't look good. I hate that one. Doesn't look good.
Okay,
you also wrote about New Jersey.
Yeah, New Jersey. Where
now have they played their way back?
it's going to be tough to
relevance. No,
it's going to be tough for them to bring back Tom Fitzgerald unless they kind of change a little bit of the feel there with another president of hockey ops.
Any feel on my boy Sheldon?
Whether it's Sheldon, Craig Berube, Adam Foote, you got to really see what's above them, right? What's above them and who's coming in and how much of a window do they have to completely do whatever they want, or, money's a big deal for some clubs where you just don't want to pay someone to stay home.
Well, and, it truly feels like this team was as injured as you can be for a long chunk of this season. Now, Jack Hughes, he's been better when he's healthy, and that team has more to give. Curious to see. They hire someone new, give him another year, what the Devils could look like. Because people predicted them for a playoff team, if not a division contender, I think, this year. Obviously, below expectations.
If I'm not mistaken, when we were doing game time early in the season, they may have been close to favorites for the Cup.
Really?
Like, they were really highly thought of. And they got off to a crazy good start, too, didn't they? Didn't they get – it seems so long ago.
It's a lifetime ago.
It really is. But I feel like they got off to a really hot start.
I wrote about Gary Bettman, maybe, future. Did you guys catch that?
Well, no, because you told us 9 seconds before the show that
so
you wrote.
I didn't have a chance to pour through it while we're talking on it.
Injected into my head like Neo in the Matrix.
I did write that I don't think anybody thinks he's going anywhere for the next couple of years. Mm-hmm. But after that, there's a sense that there might be a transition period going on now
You know what I
for
never understood?
Bill
What's
Daly.
Stuff for Bill Daly.
Yeah, for Bill Daly. Yeah, nothing's, from my understanding, nothing's been set in stone, but he is the odds-on favorite for taking over for Gary Bettman.
I mean, he's been the next guy forever.
Yeah.
And essentially it would be the same as just continuing the term of Bettman. It would be
I also heard I also heard a possible scenario.
George Peros?
No, where much like this, what Doug McLean calls the fake GM job is the president of hockey ops job. If Gary does step away from his day-to-day operations as a commissioner, that he can move into a chairman of the board type of role.
keep getting a check roll. That's awesome. I
Right?
want that job.
Where you're still a big part of it.
His influence. He knows where all the bodies are buried.
Exactly.
You know, it's,
Exactly.
He knows where the holes are in the
And I'm like,
for sure.
buddy, you pull that off. Like, I tip my hat. That's a nice gig.
here's my-
Chairman of the board of
Yeah.
the National Hockey League. That's cool.
Here's the thing I always come back to stuff like this. Doesn't he have a hobby? How old's
I
Gary?
think he's golfing in Florida.
Like, doesn't he want to do that then? Like, I understand.
How much money does he make?
Like, it's a cool job and it pays well. At
Hey,
some point,
email him. He'll answer that.
catch a fish. I don't know.
We could have him on the show again. I love having him on.
Get a yeast starter pack and make a sourdough. Like, just find something else.
I wouldn't bet against him being the highest paid in the NHL.
Well, he should be. He's the dude.
What do you mean? Like in the league office or like in the league period?
In the league period.
Like over McDavid. He makes over McDavid?
If he Kaprizov money?
I wouldn't doubt it for a
Buddy,
second.
Goodell's making
I'm not
50
telling
sheets
you
a
I
year.
know. I'm just telling you how I feel.
Are we talking
Wouldn't
more than
surprise
Matthews is
me.
going to make on his next
Wouldn't
contract?
surprise me at all.
You know, he runs a multi-billion-dollar business, and he's
Well,
turned it into the
what
growth
about
of
the
the league.
values of the teams now
Sure.
that are $2 billion?
It's like that's a tough job. It's a big job. He's done it for a lot of years, and I know people have their quibbles. Probably an understatement.
Oh, yeah. I've quibbled.
I think he does a great job. Pro Bettman.
All right, how many minutes in before someone goes after Gudas tonight?
I don't think you're 5 seconds
For a
before
shift?
gloves are on the ice.
I think he starts. I think Pizzetta starts. They fight.
Yeah.
And then, like, I feel like it may be a normal game, which I don't want it to be, where the Leafs just get, like Kipper said, the crud kicked out of them for three
The
periods.
funny thing is, like, in these revenge scenarios, sometimes the people doing the avenging lose the fight.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, haha, you hurt our player. Now you must punch me in the face as penance.
Pizzetta's going to go squirrely.
Loved Cowan going after Zadorov in Boston, but if Zadorov turns around and sees him coming,
Yeah.
ugh,
But Cowan's smart. He knew he didn't see him coming. That's it. You got to get in there and get a couple rabid punches and then get the clamps on him.
at a certain point, you run out of just being smart.
I am.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? You can't keep pounding on just being smart.
Buddy,
You got to be a little tough too.
I've watched Max Domi pick his spots here. He's got the little tough part down pat. So
Big one for your Isles tonight.
who they got? Who they
Penguins.
Okay,
Ooh,
so Pittsburgh.
boy.
Hey, Pittsburgh's 0 for 9, guys.
0 for 9 on
0
goal
for
interference
9 on
challenges.
challenges.
They got to hire
And
Wiener and Sam Kim.
They
Buddy,
Holy
that's
smokes.
atrocious.
There was
I
a-
don't care how much you're getting jobbed.
There was an
bad.
article in the Athletic today and obviously someone's whining about it, so they put out the article. But listen, and they got a beef with the league.
Yeah.
Why don't you just go walk down the hallway, go into your video coach's office, and go 0 for 9?
Yeah.
How about being a little better?
Totally.
0 for 9's crazy.
That's
You're going to point.
atrocious number.
You're pointing the finger at the league first. How about your guys?
You know what's worse is I saw the article, which, you know, it's a thorough encapsulation of what they're complaining about and what they're upset. Josh Yeo wrote it, and he is just covering what they're upset about. So this is not about the article. But the complaints about it are like, it's happening because they have no owner. It's happening because they don't have a CEO. It's happening
Well, no.
because...
Josh also wrote that it may be happening because the league office is in Toronto and they didn't like the way Kyle Dubas departed here in Toronto.
And Muse is a first-year coach.
Is
and the league,
about as lame of an excuse.
You thought Leaf fans
as I
were
could
bad.
hear.
Holy.
Imagine deciding over goalie interference call and being like, yeah, it is, but let's just say it isn't because come on.
Come on.
Before we go, boys, big shout out to my hometown Attack. Big game 3 tonight in the OHL first round. The first two games in Flint, the first two games in Flint didn't go so great. I believe we lost 8-1 and 11-1 in the first 2 games of the series. So a big bounce back game for my Bears tonight.
I've become an Attack booster, but you can't lose 19-2 and get to play a third game. They got to shut the series down.
The Bay Shore will be rocking tonight.
Sammy,
don't let us get one.
You may have to go back there.
In a mascot suit.
Yes.
Let's go, boys.
All right.
Dig deep.
Go Attack.
Our thanks to David Amber. Top of the show. All right, boys. Hey, we're just getting to work here.
Oh, yeah. Have fun.
Late
boys.
one. Sportsnet Ontario, Toronto, and Anaheim.
We'll be there.
Yours truly.
Leafs talk after, too.
Leaf talk with Sammy and who?
Anthony Petrelli.
Leap is for the week.
All right. Enjoy your games tonight, and we're back tomorrow to do it all over again on the Real Kyper and Bourne Show.